Welcome to another episode of Comedy Wham Presents with me, your host Valerie, coming to you from the 2025 Moontower Comedy Festival. My sometime co-hosts, Miss Purrington and Mookie, are resting at home. We are recording from the Stephen F. Austin Upstairs Lounge. It's very nice and quiet. ComedyWham.com is your place to go for features about all Austin comedy. In addition to podcasts, Comedy Wham brings you articles, album reviews, show reviews, our advice column, our listing of festivals from across the country and the world, our FPIA contest page, and my articles for Austin Chronicle and thebarbedwire.com about the Austin and Texas comedy scene. Our most popular feature is our events page for live comedy shows in Austin, Houston, and DFW, where 100% of the entries you see come from comics and producers. Click the Submit a Show button from the top of the homepage or events page to fill out the survey to get your show listed. It's free and easy. Tag us on your Instagram stories and we'll share your show promo to our followers. We also offer paid promo pushes on Instagram. Want to support these resources we provide? You can donate to Comedy Wham on PayPal, Venmo, or even Patreon. Click the Support CW icon on our homepage to see the ways that you can help us. Our podcast was launched in 2016 to bring you funny people and their stories. As a fan, I like to delve into a comic's background and motivations, and will usually take a detour along the way. Consider the interview a way for you to get to know the folks that make the comedy scene as fascinating off stage as it is on stage. If you like this podcast, please rate and review us. Extra pens for you?
Oh, I love these. Thank you. I use them. I use them for my writing. I use them
Yeah.
for bills and stuff.
You know you can do that online, Jeremiah.
I know, but some of it is calculating old school.
Oh, wow.
Writing checks still, occasionally.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I sometimes do
There's
that.
a handful of places that refuse to do any kind of electronic stuff where I'm like, okay,
Oh my
I'm sending a
gosh,
check.
still in this day and age?
My agency is one of them.
Really?
Yeah, I have to write checks.
Wow.
They haven't sent me a wafer that I can electronically pay them.
Wow.
Mm. Yep. So I'm like, okay, you get 10% of this. And I'm writing it with the Comedy Wham pen.
Well, today we are recording live on location at the Stephen F. Austin Hotel Lounge for the 2025 Moontower Comedy Festival. I have started to feel this feeling every single year now for the last couple of years, but this was the year that I was most terrified that we would not have time to sit and chat. But here we are.
Here we are. I make time, Valerie. I love you.
He's had another incredible year, continued success of his individual project with Stand Up on the Spot, new collaboration project, because I have to make sure I bring this home, called Red Fuzzy Rug, and his ongoing collaborations on both the Trailer Tales podcast and Dr. Phil Live with Adam Ray, which is blowing up everywhere, and his newest project, 1000%, which is a production company with longtime friend Avery Pearson. And now Comedy Wham presents our returning guest for his 8th chat with us, Jeremiah Watkins.
This is my 8th Moontower.
Can you
That's
believe
so
it?
crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
You had been, was the first time we talked your first Moontower? For real? I thought you had been before.
Had I? Maybe.
Maybe.
There might have. I mean, wow, that's wild.
Yeah.
Still, the 8th interview is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to do some digging to see if I was maybe did one Moontower before that.
I think you did, because I think I had picked up on you from as Mosh Pit
From
on the
Moontower.
jam.
Oh, cool, cool.
Yeah. So I don't think that was your first.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'm getting close to year 10 at Moontower
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
Wild.
Long timer, a
Yeah.
lifer.
Yeah.
May as well be. Wow, I was asking you before if this is going to be your most intense day. We're recording on Saturday, and I'm going to go see your stand-up on the spot that you have tonight. But then you have to, the start time for the Dr. Phil Live is still within your, hour range of stand-up on the spot, unless the schedule has changed.
No,
to free
it's
things up.
tricky tonight. So, Stand Up on the Spot is at 6:30 tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Phil Live is at 7. Stand Up on the Spot's a 90-minute show. And so I am going to be done with Stand Up on the Spot around 8. and I have to get to Bass Hall by 8:30 is when Adam told me, hey, please be there by 8:30. So it's going to be a very tight window of me just like having my stuff and getting ready to go on. But realistically, the show that he has lined up tonight, I won't hit the stage there till realistically 9 or 9:30.
Okay.
Like
So
I always go in the very end of the show as a different character. So I'll be all right. It'll feel like a lot, but like once I get to the next venue, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
I'm a good compartmentalizer, so I take.
Yes, you
try
are.
to take moment to moment. So
Yeah. This is going to come out long after, but I guess I don't know if this one will be recorded for some other broad release. But your characters, can you reveal anything about tonight's character?
Yeah, what's so crazy and fun about the process of these is that we don't have it fully locked in what it's going to be.
Oh.
So it's I'm supposed to do an angsty teenage character with Casey Rocket tonight, and we don't fully know what we're doing with the bit yet. We have to figure it out in the next 8 hours as we're talking right now.
Yeah.
That happens sometimes when Adam gets real busy and I get real busy. We go back and forth through text or voice notes and stuff like that. And then Casey and I were supposed to have lunch today, but he's like, can you do 3 or 4? I'm like, oh no.
Jeez.
So I have to figure that out with him because my load in for stand up on the spot is at that exact time. So I'm like, can you come early to the show when the doors open for stand up on the spot?
Oh
so we
my
can talk
gosh.
about it before that show because he's on stand up on the spot tonight
Right.
before Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a good problem to have that there's that there's a bunch of comics in the scene that we all like working together and find each other funny and stuff like that. So it's a good problem to have with scheduling and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. It was fun because I was telling you I went to a show that ended at 1:30 and it was Casey's show. So it was fun to see Adam drop in.
Oh, cool.
Because, I know him most from, his stand-up sets here at Moontower pre the big character of Dr. Phil days. And it was fun just to get him, to watch him doing traditional stand-up.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Dr. Phil is great, but I've known, obviously, Adam way longer, so my favorite version is Adam. That's my favorite comic version is the Adam version. I love Dr. Phil, and I love going on the road, obviously, with it, but, I've known Adam the longest out of the different characters that he's done, so like that, yeah.
And I think we talked about this last year, and I didn't do homework and re-listen, but it is my preconceived notion that character was kind of honed during your Jeremiah Wonders podcast.
Yeah, I mean, he did the character a couple times as like stand-up performances around town, but I definitely feel like we honed it in that garage on Jeremiah Wonders and him figuring out like what really were the things that kind of tick around that character and what make that character funny.
Yeah.
So it was a cool collaborative process where like I got a chance to grow with my characters and he kept growing with that one centralized character.
Yeah.
So and if you haven't checked out those episodes, they're kind of like a fever dream of Dr. Phil episodes. It's like these lost, we kind of like thought of them as like lost Dr. Phil episodes that no one would air on a network. That got kind of like put in a vault.
Yeah.
And they're just like weird video effects and sound effects, and it's deep, in-depth conversations with these different troubled people and characters of mine that have issues that need Dr. Phil's help. And sometimes he would help the characters, and then other times like it would be at the end we'd realize like he didn't help the character at all.
Yeah.
So it was a fun arc to play with.
Yeah. And I love the idea that, because one of the things that I also know you from was from the show at the Comedy Store where you played a character. Like every week you had a brand new character.
Oh, Chelcie, yeah.
Yeah, so bringing you back to that character work on a massive scale is pretty cool. And getting to finally watch you on Netflix.
I know. That's what a wild character to make Netflix debut with
But I
Golem
expect
from Lord of
nothing
the
less
Rings. I mean,
from you.
we were watching that. We had a screening for it, just like a friends and family kind of thing, screening at the Comedy Store when that dropped on Netflix, the Dr. Phil special, and I'm cackling louder than anybody watching it in the back because I'm like, part of it was shock, being like, I cannot believe that this is the thing that got on Netflix and that they greenlit it. That they're like, yep, this is staying in the show.
Yeah.
And it was just so weird and bizarre, but so fun.
All right. Thank you. I don't know, at one point we want to talk about this project, this collaboration you have with Avery and 1000%. You want to get into that now? I mean,
Sure.
You guys have been friends forever.
Yeah, I mean, Avery's been to a bunch of the Moontowers too over the years.
Yeah. But you guys met at, was it an open mic?
Yeah, Hollywood Improv.
Yeah, and he was
on keys.
Yeah.
I was supposed to host the mic that night, and then when I got there, they're like, "Hey, this guy's going to accompany you on keys." Right? I was like, "Sure, why not?" And then we had great comedy chemistry, and to the point where so many people thought that Avery and I had known each other for years because the mic was so fun and we were just easily bouncing off of each other back and forth, and I would pitch stuff to him and he'd throw it right back, and we became friends just kind of right away. We were like, oh, this is kind of special, this is unique. You run across that every once in a while in the years of comedy where it just like works right away versus like kind of pulling teeth to make things happen. Yeah.
I remember when we recorded with Avery a couple of years ago, like you could feel the mutual admiration because he did a little original song for you at the end of our recording, and then we recorded with him before we recorded with you that year, and so we were able to replay. It was like, you're the best. It's not something I can't sing, so I'm not going to try to redo it. But it was very, very evident that there was mutual admiration there. So what was, because you have been a major workhorse, right? I mean, you just talk about compartmentalizing. You have so many projects. You've pushed yourself with video production through your various podcasts and film and your sketches that you did a whole run of sketches. So how did you and Avery have that first conversation about, hey, maybe we should take our respective skills and combine forces?
He kind of, approached me about the idea about it because he saw like everything that I was doing on the production side of things, and he is a great producer. He produces a couple great live shows like in LA, and then he's also like produced. He has a special that's coming out. That's like a music variety special that he. It's this concert of like the concept is he's giving up I think it's called Give It Up, I believe. But it's his farewell to comedy tour, and it's all like his funny celebrity friends and just comic friends that are doing duets with him, like for his final night of comedy kind of thing. That's the concept. And so he produced that, and while he was doing that, he was asking me a lot about like production stuff, and I was trying to help as much as I could, like from a distance. He had his crew and stuff like that, but I'm like, hey, you might want this and that kind of thing. And through that experience and just us knowing each other, we had an opportunity that came up with a pitch for Einstein Bros Bagels, and it kind of all came together with the timing of our production company, like being born around the same time as booking that gig, because that was a legitimizing gig with a national brand. That it's like, hey, this can be our first official venture, and we just did all the things officially, and like we're like, hey, like let's just make this a partnership, and like we can do like commercial's not the only thing that we obviously want to do, and we're already working on other stuff. And it just kind of has grown from there, and the goal is to, we have a couple comedy specials that we just filmed. So the first one, Josh Wolf, we filmed his in Nashville.
Nice.
And then Jack Jr., we're shooting his special in Glendale at the Alex Theater next month in California. And we're hoping to keep expanding and shooting specials. And I've wanted to direct movies for a very long time. And I'm hoping that all the work with these sketches and everything is leading up to doing some feature films and more TV and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so we do have this type of conversation frequently, that as one pocket of your life expands, something gets squeezed. And like, I remember when we talked about you dropping off from the goddamn comedy jam, is to expand other areas. What as this keeps growing, I guess I can't ask you, what are you going to drop off? But where do you see, I guess, okay, I'll just ask it very personally.
Sure.
Are you going to stop coming to Moontower?
No,
Okay,
definitely
good.
not. No, this is one of the highlights of my year for sure. I love coming to Moontower, and I love everybody at this festival. When I say it's my favorite festival, it's not exaggeration. I don't like my top two are Moontower and Skankfest, but Moontower, just for me specifically, just vibe wise for me, is just edges it out slightly, just as far as Skankfest for me is. I absolutely love it, but it's a little bit like, all right, well, I'm gonna go to my hotel now. Like you guys
keep telling me I have to go because it's
you
just
do.
like a comedy
It's an experience
nerds thing.
Yeah, no, and it's like it's crazy, but it's like it's the right amount of crazy where it's also like you have options where it's like if a show is like too gnarly or whatever, you're like, oh, I'll go to this show over here.
Yeah. I mean, I know and I like a lot of the people on there. Of course, there's people I don't like, but I'm like, it's just like Moontower. I mean, eventually.
Yeah, the
there's
lineups
some
are
people
incredible.
That,
It's super cool.
Yeah, and they're going to be in New Orleans, which is not too far away.
Yeah.
And, probably very crazy because it'll be in New Orleans.
Oh, sure. I can't. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's talk about something that's more close to home, the Red Fuzzy Rug project, which launched last year.
Yeah.
And you had a pilot that you wrote with your wife Maya.
Yeah. So basically, we're in the stages of with Red Fuzzy Rug. The concept behind that show is it's. I don't know if you remember like Magic School Bus, but we compare it to that a lot, just like with the vibe, like with the imagination vibe. But instead of like the science being the driving force, it's more the driving force is social and emotional learning and behavior behind that. So it's kind of creating a safe space for kids on this red fuzzy rug where whatever they imagine, it comes to life. An example in the pilot. This is based off of a true story that my experience as a teacher in class. There's a kid that she was teaching that there's a game that they would play in class called Imaginary Ball.
Okay.
And Imaginary Ball is basically the game is like you're holding a fake ball in your hand, and it can be any size, and whatever you decide to make it, the other person has to try to catch it at that size, and then they can change the shape and size of it with their hands or with a shoulder or their knee or whatever. And she was explaining the game to one of the kids in her class who one of his limbs, he was born without one of his limbs, so he doesn't have the lower portion of his arm. He looked at her kind of sad, and he's like, I can't play this game.
Aww.
And she's like, what do you mean? And he goes, I don't have a hand to catch the ball, so I can't play. So she told him, like, you can catch it with your nose, your forehead, your chin, your shoulder, your knee, and you can make it whatever size you want. And he lit up, and it was like a real like aha moment for Maya, where it's like, oh, this is like these games like can really impact kids in a really positive way. So it's the show's like basically it's a very inclusive show in a time when
Yes.
the world is like feeling not very inclusive
Yeah.
for a lot of different reasons. So we're trying to get that message out there, and we've been shopping around and trying to get some meetings up, and we've got like some different brands and some different production companies that we've been meeting with, and we'll see. It's just one of those things. It's hard to get a TV show made these days, but hoping that the stars align. We've got a really cool cast behind it with
an amazing cast.
Tiffany Haddish and Jodie Sweetin and Joanna Houseman and Libbie Higgins, who I do Trailer Tales with, and it's awesome.
I ran into Libbie the other day. I've been a fan of hers since when the original Carla McExcuse Me character came out, but even back then, and I actually had her record a Vimeo for Steven, and so I had some contact with her, and then she would come to Austin. And I'd say, hey, I'd love to talk to you, blah, 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 and it just never aligned. So I saw her the other day, and I'm like, I'm the one who's been stalking you about, sitting down with you. She's like, oh my God, that's so nice. And it was cool seeing her. I got to watch the Trailer Tales last night. Last night? It's all a blur. I think it was last night.
Last night.
Oh my God, that was so much fun.
Oh, good. Heck
that was, I still have not watched or listened. And I'm kind of glad I didn't, because it was interesting going in with no perspective at all.
Oh, interesting.
To see what it was, and you actually did a really nice job of guiding some people who may not have ever seen the show.
We're trying to do that because this is only our second live show. So the fact that we did it at the State Theater last night was so funny. It's such an amazing venue. And it's been real interesting to try to hone that as a new thing, because we're kind of testing the waters to see if we want to experiment with touring that as a live podcast around.
Yeah, I mean the audience was full, so I think it sure seems like you've got a mandate for doing that.
Hopefully,
and you're gonna add something more on your plate.
I know. We'll see what makes sense.
So do you continue to have a heavy hand in like some of that video production element that you kind of, I feel like the Scissor Bros is where you really perfected the video editing.
Yeah, Trailer Tales is also edit heavy, but I've been working with an assistant editor where I have to let them edit the episode some weeks. There's just like this week with Moontower, I was like, I can't kill myself and try to do these edits. So I did a rough camera cut. With now there's like a program that I use that like AI does like a very loose cut, and then I go through and refine what the AI does, and then I pass it along to my assistant editor, and he finishes it from there. But for this week, like I was supposed to technically on my schedule edit that and then release a stand-up on the spot on Monday, and I'm like, I can't do that. Like Moontower's too crazy. So he edited Trailer Tales, and then we are bumping the stand-up on the spot episode one more week delayed, just because it's just like there's only so much you can do.
Jeremiah of a few years ago would have been far more stressed about not being, punctual and doing everything. Are you finding it slightly easier? And I think it's forced on you.
I think it's forced.
Yeah.
I don't think it's definitely something that comes easy, because consistency is everything as far as like with YouTube and releasing things, but there's ways around it that I'm figuring out. Like there's different pieces of content that you can put in its place and stuff like that. Like some weeks when we don't have a new stand-up on the spot episode, we'll throw up like an older stand-up on the spot set from a comic, and that's just something to like keep the algorithm like being like, okay, this is an active channel, and because you get penalized. It's a weird thing where it's like they start burying your stuff if you're not always active. It's a real thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's why nobody listens to my podcast.
Oh yeah, the consistency is everything. Yeah.
I mean, generally weekly. I think I'd put out 40 to 45 episodes a year.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. whatever. I don't have my entire career vested in this.
Yeah.
So it's a very different equation that we're dealing with.
For sure.
So as you've had more and more pressures on your time, what are some easy things that you find you can let go of, or figured out ways to make yourself let go? Like, it sounds like the assistant is probably invaluable to you. It's kind of cool hearing that you use AI to help let go of some things.
Just with it's not. I think what AI can be used for is stuff that is super mundane and not creative in the editing process. That's the kind of stuff where, to me, I'm like, I'm okay with using it for that kind of a thing, because it's like it's a subscription based pay, like, monthly thing.
Yeah.
So somebody who created the app is at least some humans making at least some money off of that, which is good. So it's not just just being wasted on that. But I don't know how I feel about AI with other forms of. I mean, I think we're definitely on a slippery slope with using it for video and pictures and stuff like that. I think we gotta be kind of careful with that. But I mean, we've already been using for a while in Dr. Phil Live. Like, they use AI generated images for jokes and different things like that, which is crazy. Like, that's already kind of crept its way into different elements within comedy, but never on the writing side. I mean, that's where it gets like, what is happening?
Yeah. And the voice part has come into play. I think there have been deep fake videos.
Oh yeah, that's scary. Yeah. Some of the voice stuff is pretty scary, actually.
Yeah, because every person has a unique voice, and when you get more and more famous, it's like,
well, there's so much recordings to go off of.
Well, because you guys have been trained now and forced to put out consistently.
I have thousands of hours of content out there where if an AI wanted to manipulate my voice, I could create a lot of different conversations pretty easily just from the bank of words that are out there.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
How's my printer doing?
It's still going. Valerie got me a printer years ago. This printer has been through now. It's at its second resident. No, it's at its third residence.
I think.
Third.
Yeah,
it's at its third. I just moved in January. Yeah. Third residence.
Wow.
And it's still going. We just literally, it's such a quality. Brother, well, who knew that they would last this long?
Yeah. Just like a rock. Oh, man. No, that printer has to keep. Maybe next year I'll do a little sticker to put on the honorary printer.
Yeah. Yeah, so I still use it all the time.
If it craps out, I am 100% gonna buy you guys a new one. Know, even though now you've got a Netflix special. Technically, we can say that, right?
I'm a part of one. It's not technically mine, but I'm honored to be a part of it. Yeah.
You're still touring for your individual stand-up.
Always,
How do you feel like your timeline is as far as getting your shot at a special on a major network?
I don't. That's a tough question. The timeline thing, because it's so many factors that are. As the longer that I do this, most of the things that have led to personal success of mine have been self-motivated and even self-produced stuff. I think that stand-up on the spot is eventually going to find a home on a network, but honestly, at the same time, if it continues to grow as a show that's just very popular on YouTube, that's accessible to everybody, I'm also very okay with that. And I'm hoping that it continues to head in that direction, because I currently have 100% full creative control. I can, like I said, I can move episodes when they need to be moved, like according to my schedule, and it's not on, it's a tight team at the moment that's making the show. So we'll see. I have an hour that I need to shoot for my personal stand-up that I want to get out there. We'll see if I can make it happen later this fall, the right location and all that stuff. But yeah.
Have you noticed, your specials that you do have out too now, right? That are out? Mm-hmm. The Daddy, and I can't remember the name of the first one.
Family Reunion,
yeah. Have you noticed those, there's a concept in math of exponential growth. As you are in more places, have you noticed that exponential growth as people become interested in your individual
people
stand-up?
They Family Reunion, since that's on Amazon Prime, I can't see the numbers at all on that, so that one's difficult. But over time, my Daddy special continues to grow, like with viewers and stuff like that. It's so weird as a concept now, where if your stand-up special doesn't hit 1 million views on YouTube, it's not considered like an industry success now. Jeez. So that's a little bit of a strange thing for just in general, like that's like the baseline of what is considered like a success. So the next special that I put out, obviously that's the goal, but man, it's really freaking hard to get there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I think at some point in our conversations we've talked about that control of your projects, your creativity, and my philosophy has been, well, sometimes you have to let go of that control, and I feel like my script is flipping now as your control, and I'm not conveying that as a negative control, but your ownership has actually made you more and more successful. So do you ever think, I really do need to let go of some control of things? Is that kind of philosophy eat you up at night kind of thing, or you're just like, no, I'm good.
No, I definitely think that there's room for me to be in areas of my life, for sure, more willing to let go of the reins in certain areas. And I think that's definitely a goal this year, is to not be so holding things so tight, like it's got to be this way, it's got to be that way, and figuring it out a little bit more. Just as the longer I'm producing and directing stuff, it's something that I've learned a lot over the years of becoming a better director, is if you can't articulate what you're wanting to your actor or whoever you're working with, then you need to figure out how to do that, because you're not a good enough director if you're not able to convey what you need without being like, well, let me just do it, let me just do it myself.
Yeah.
There's ways to do it, and as a producer and a director, and it's very difficult sometimes, because I'll be working with editors sometimes where I have something that's in my head, and it is easier for me just to make the edits myself and show them what I'm talking about. But on the flip side, I need to figure out ways to articulate what's inside my head and what I'm going for, because that's only going to make me a stronger director and producer.
Yeah. How's your phone time?
How's my phone time?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, in the past, we've talked about how you're just obsessive about your phone time.
It's a necessary evil. It's just as bad. It's unavoidable. It's
as he pulls out his phone, it's probably 1,000 messages.
It's literally just unavoidable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've just come to accept.
It's just, I've gotten better with basically, I've gotten better with being selective of when it is for work versus just, but it's a constant, it's a constant battle. It's such a hard thing where knowing when to scroll to be interactive for work versus just mindlessly scrolling for no reason. Like
Yeah.
sometimes you'll get caught on like, hey, wait, what was I doing? I was supposed to be scrolling to be booking somebody for stand up on the spot, and then I'm watching NBA highlights for no reason. Like it's
Yeah. It's very difficult. I've tried to curate my personal feed to be a lot of cat accounts. I can focus on that. Is there something we haven't talked about or that I've missed that you want people to know as we chronicle your 8th chat with us?
No, I mean, we kind of 1,000% stand up on the spot, trailer tales, stand up, Dr. Phil live. There's a lot. There's a lot. Red Fuzzy Rug. A lot going on.
Good Lord, there is. My gosh.
And
we thought you were busy, 7 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, I think I'm the same amount of busy, but it's just more polished product, if that makes sense. Because I'm probably just as tired as I was then. Maybe I'm more tired now. Who knows? But it's more I talk with this about my wife a lot. Like, the stakes are just higher. So the highs are higher and the lows are lower. It's just like the dips are bigger when you feel it, and then the successes feel bigger because it's things that we're trying to we're trying to sell Red Fuzzy Rug. Like, that's like, if that happens, like that's huge. That's a very huge thing that most people, like, even in the industry, can't say that they sell a pilot or sell a show. Like, that's so I'm reaching for things that are really big, but that's how I do things. I'm extreme. So.
Well, of all the projects, that may be the one that I'm most rooting for, because I love the idea of you and Maya collaborating on something, something that
it'd be cool.
Was the green for and working together on that.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be awesome for sure. Yeah, we're actively working on trying to get that made, so we'll see.
Yeah. And 100% you're tired because you've got 2 kids. So.
Sure. Yeah.
And all the traveling. Okay, well, as we do every year, we revisit your future word.
Well, I always love reviewing what these words are, because I'm like, oh man, some of these hit hard.
So, we'll just do a chronicling here. In 2017, your future was eclectic. We skipped 2018 for some reason. Then in 19, tumultuous. 21, because we know what happened in 20. 21 was balanced. Halcyon days. Then 22 was solidified. 23, malleable. And last year was poised. And ain't that the truth? So, your 2025 future word?
I think 2025 can be willing.
Ooh.
Because willing can mean multiple things. Willing to do something or willing something into existence. So I like willing for 2025.
Yeah, I like it too.
Yeah.
Exciting. Well, that is a wrap on Comedy Wham Presents Jeremiah Watkins, Volume 8. Jeremiah, tell us where we can find you on social media and your upcoming projects.
You can follow me on social media at Jeremiah Standup. Tour dates at jeremiahwatkins.com. And I have 3 YouTube channels. YouTube.com/Jeremiah Watkins, YouTube.com/@StandUpOTS, and YouTube.com/@TrailerTalesPod. Trailer Tales is every Friday. Stand Up on the Spot is usually every other Monday. And I've been releasing different crowd work pieces, specials if you want to call them that. They're like longer form, like half hours and 20-some minute sets. And there are a lot of different cities and very fun and weird, waggy, wild stuff.
I make plans now to see him at 2026 Moontower. We are willing that. We hope you've enjoyed catching up with Jeremiah just as much as I have today. This has been Comedy Wham Presents Jeremiah Watkins, number 8. I'm Valerie, and that's been funny. Thank you, Jeremiah.
Thanks so much for having me.